Hope it was Power here with an opening on the DienDriver. Why did I say I'm not doing a review? We're doing an opening on the DienDriver because I finally got my hands on this thing. Because obviously I previously, have finally obtained my DienDriver aka Touch 21. And obviously they weren't. This thing technically did get a release on Premium Bandai, but it was through a lottery system, so obviously it was going to be difficult getting that. But yeah, basically because again, from the entire beginning, this thing wasn't even selling for ridiculous prices. It was always for like about like lowest that I've seen at least like 45 to like 80 or 90 at best. Excuse me. I got mine for 60, which I was like, yeah, that's justifiable because you do get, from what I counted, 45 cards. And this thing obviously carries over the stuff from the CSM version and can actually read the cards. So obviously we got the Phase 2 secondary writers, Phase 1 secondary writers. Here is the back of the box. And I think it's just the same, no, two different images of Dien with the DienDriver. Obviously, his suit doesn't change at all, just because it's just a new gun, which I just find funny. I find it funny that Dien wasn't planned. Like, I think it's kind of obvious, like, but it's just kind of more funny that, like, essentially, like, he wasn't initially planned at all, but, like, you know, Sakasa's actor just, like, called up. He just called him Dien's actor up and he was like, hey, want to reprise your role in Geo? And he was like, oh, sure. So this is the card holder, which I don't know how much cards this is supposed to hold. I don't think it can hold a lot. It definitely cannot hold all of this. But, you know, I'm happy they at least provide this because obviously they're never going to release a DX Ride Booker. So again, I've already looked through the cards, but we would do this again. So we got Dien complete. Did I never switched this. G3. Oh, yeah, I don't know why I was thinking that was G3X. Knight, so I can actually kind of see this is already used a while. I'm going to use it again anyway. Kaixa. Again, as I said before, you can obviously tell which ones were the original, which ones were originally from the series and which ones weren't, just because there's like this cleanness with the new ones. So like Zeranos and Ixa, well, it's not even the cleanness, is that the backgrounds are completely different. What was I trying to say? They were completely different because the original Dien cards had a darker background compared to like the newer ones where they're a lot lighter. Obviously on camera you can't tell, but in person you can tell. But obviously, here we go with this. God, I love the picture inconsistency too. It's just that's great. Here we finally get the final forms. So this will be fun. Obviously, you don't get Rising Ultimate or Show Climax because I don't understand why they tried to justify those. Obviously, this, I think I filmed the set before the news about the US version of the version 2 DienDriver CSM. I don't know why I said it backwards. Essentially how they have to strip away the Rekka Daizanto cards. And then here we finally get attack cards. I don't know why Decade doesn't get any. I understand they're iconic for Dien, but I would have liked if Decade's had them. If Decade could have his. But even though they are the same. But yeah, they stripped out, or they're gonna take out the Recordizanto cards for the US version. So obviously, and then we only get one final attack ride. So everyone's in a panic because obviously no one was told about this until it was too late. Essentially, obviously I can't really blame Took Collectibles because obviously they weren't aware of it either. This is a tiny gun. Yeah, this is a really tiny gun. Pew, 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 pew. Was this the original Switch or what? What is this area for? This is really solid. But so yeah, I guess I'm not getting a CSM DienDriver, which is kind of, I would say, unfortunate, because I actually, like, I know it's just like, but you literally just got the Neo. You finally got a Neo DienDriver, and you want to drop that for the CSM. I'm like, oh yeah, just so that I can have a version of the original DienDriver. And then, you know, just because I want something to, honestly, it's like, you know, I honestly want to have a thing that plays Ride the Wind. So, and you know, just, we gotta have those Tsukasa phrases. Because, you know, it's just like, are you going to actually pick up the original toy? Like, I know some people don't mind, but I'm like, I might as well just get the new and improved. Where are the LEDs for this thing? Oh. Let's just see how much cards can actually fit in here, because obviously, how does he have the cards slotted in? Because I don't think he will actually have so that's like half. So this is 10 so far. We have another 10. So this will be 20 cards. I don't remember how he has these cards. Wait, so this can hold up to, at best, removing, so at max it can hold up to, that's, wait, this is now 21. No, this is 20 cards. So yeah, it can hold up to 20 cards. Which is, I guess, works out. Because you can't, you can force one card and then it will become 20, or it becomes 22. So you can have that. It would just become hard to actually pull the cards out, because I actually honestly don't know how he pulls out his cards. Because I obviously, realistically, I think it will make sense to just do it from, I think it makes sense for him to just open it up and then just slide this out. Do that. But I don't think that's the case. So technically, I guess if how I would do this is honestly just put in the 19 secondary riders and then just take the final attack ride. Just take the final attack ride and slide that in. And then you can put in the complete form card. So that's probably how I'll do it. Because then, you know, just keep these separate. Like, obviously, I think it would probably just be the better option just to keep all of Dien's cards together. But I don't know. Because I think you obviously just kind of want to just essentially do something like this, I guess. But then obviously it doesn't really fill up too much. But then you're actually able to like pull cards and such. But you know. So we'll just go through all of his basic stuff. And we'll get through summoning the secondary riders and such. So how are we gonna do this? So obviously you take the card and then you slide it through this entire section, which should be. So again, it presses a button. Woohoo! Bang, 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 bang. And then obviously with Dien, you can actually stack cards. Is this like a place you can actually press? Obviously the sound effects aren't technically correct. Okay, so I guess the thing that's unfortunate is that it won't do the sound once. And obviously you're gonna end up bending the card. Yeah, so there's no like ejecting sound, it's only just the it's only the insertion. So then Neo Blast. Yeah, I don't get why we don't get an actual blasting sound. So obviously just to get the card out, you kind of have to press it. Cross attack. These lights are bright. This card is definitely going to get damaged. So, barrier, the Baria. Obviously, I think you can stack up to 3 cards. Oops. Like, I do find that to be a neat feature of just being able to stack the cards. Actually, let's keep this here, because obviously the final attack right, which I think technically should be able to stack. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and there we actually get the finish. So yeah, you can only stack up to 4 cards at a time. And then you're gonna end up bending these heavily, so that's not fun, but oh well. And then oh, so we got this. And obviously, like, if you really wanted to, you can just stack. I don't know why I'm struggling trying to put this down. I want to try again an air sound. Because I'm curious if that is possible. How do you get an air with this? Because obviously with the DienDriver, it's easy. Maybe, yeah, maybe this way, actually. Okay. Because I was like, I don't know how you're supposed to get an air here. But then it's like, oh yeah, just because the reader is only on this side. It's not like the DienDriver where... Okay, yeah, with the DienDriver you can insert cards upside down. Why had I never thought of that? Just trying to figure out how this... Like, I think the positive thing of this, at least, because the cards are plastic, they can actually withstand being bent, unlike the original. Okay. So, those are that. So, let's... Actually, we need to keep this in. You can't do that. You can't slide this in. Because there's no way of these entering. Yeah, okay, so this can't escape unless you want to, like, break it. Not break it, but get it stuck. Because essentially it's trying to get through here, but then obviously this sends it into a... Well, it essentially sends it to where it can't get stuck. So let's get to the rider summoning. So... I hope with the version 2, it actually counts for how much riders you put in. Because obviously what it's doing obviously the way they got around this is that it's just simply, it's obviously reading the barcode, but like it's just, it doesn't like, because this thing doesn't add up. It only reads one thing at a time. So like obviously obviously it gives you the illusion that you are summoning these 3 riders, but it's really just reading off of the last card you put in. Because obviously all of these have the summoning sound. So that one was not going in directions. I just realized of how they integrated the backs for these cards on here. Pull all these out. It doesn't feel good pulling these out, honestly, but you know. Like, I feel like I have to press down, but and then starting of phase 2. I'm actually glad he actually did summon riders. You know, like, I understand that's a lot more easier to manage, I guess, than switching a belt on a rider for Decade, but you know, it's just, it's appreciated. Now we're getting to the area he didn't summon. Then again, he only summoned 2 riders at a time, but, you know. Like, I really do like that the Neil version actually decided to emphasize on, and Geo 2 actually decided to emphasize on the fact that, yeah, he's a secondary rider. So you should actually probably utilize stuff from the secondary riders, because, like, yeah, I understand, like, now technically it's like, or technically, like, obviously, like, what they were trying to do with Dien, essentially, yeah, he just covers all the other riders. It was just kind of weird that, like, you would have expected him to actually have something of the secondary riders, but then that was barely a thing. Go away, fruit fly. No, keep the damn card. You stay in there. Okay, I think we're in our last batch. Never did this. We never used this. I did not expect this to end up so well. Honestly, for the Beast next, he should have just summoned an extra gates. Honestly, I think that would have been funny. Because again, I still have yet to actually see Gates Majesty. So I actually do like that they actually decided to give Kaito a extended role, because like, yeah, it makes sense. He's the secondary rider. And this is the tribute to the secondary riders. So what other things can we do with, gosh. So we can utilize these because these aren't going to do anything. Yeah, so this is where you can see the flaw. No, never mind. They do say common right, don't they? At least the lights in this one go away easily. This is essentially what you're gonna have to do. You have to like drag the cards up, but again, we finally do have all. We finally have all of the final forms. So that's neat. Also, we're missing Saber, but can't do anything about that. So obviously, if we were to just do, oh shoot, if we were to use this, summoning, woohoo! So we can summon Tsukasa. Why wouldn't we? Obviously, this one he actually did use. I don't know what it would do, but okay. Would this actually do a finisher? Okay, it does. You know, like technically, couldn't he technically stack finishers? But, oh well, he only does the one. Honestly. That one's different. I was not expecting that announcement. Let's jump to. So what does he do for the others then? Because I wonder if theirs is different then. Is it like the CSM version 1 announcement or the like Neo announcement? Drag them out. Yeah, this doesn't feel good. But, yeah, you gotta make sure it doesn't get stuck. You gotta make sure it doesn't go like this. You have to like make sure it smoothly goes straight. And this drive should be Yeah. Okay, so Double through Drive have their they have their their Neo Deca driver announcements instead of their CSM version 1 announcements. So that's kind of nice. So then they're not inconsistent. Because that's still weird that they kept them within here. But other than that, that'll have to do with this itself. Whoa. The speaker got blocked. So I honestly forgot what these cards do within here, but I think they actually do stuff in here, unlike the original. So he actually has his transformation.
Complete form.
Don't tell me this is dying already. I don't remember what these attacks do.
Decay.
Okay.
Decay.
What? Okay, I guess that makes sense. Okay, nothing.
Decay.
So obviously the ones they share at least 3 of these. Dien has 1 original, and yeah. So I hope this one actually does say Dien.
Final attack light.
Cool, because obviously in Rider Time Geo vs. Decade, he did do this. Wrong way.
Final attack light.
So there, you can have another thing from Geo vs. Decade. All of these cards, they have different. I think they should do so. What? Wait. Oh shoot, I thought they all had the same sound, but now I really don't remember who can do what. I was not anticipating on going through all of that. Okay, he actually does something.
Kamen Rider.
Woohoo! Kamen Rider. Yeah, genericism. Okay, so Knight doesn't do anything. Kaixa. Okay, he just does that. Oh shit. Garen. Nothing. I don't need the cards here anymore. Keep Ibuki.
Kamen Rider.
Wow, he's the second one to do that. And as we already know, Gattack doesn't work. Zeranos. Okay. Ixa.
Kamen Rider. Kamen Rider.
I think the ones that say Kamen Rider are the ones that originally were made. So I think that's why they aren't working. Well, Ixa just doesn't. Ixa blanks out. So yeah, only four of the Phase 1 secondary riders work. Well, at least it makes, at least it makes it easy on like who was actually originally made. This is fun. Like, I genuinely forgot what cards did what in here. And I guess we can expect what the one and only Savior is gonna do. Woohoo! Nothing is so yeah. So G3, Taixa, Ibuki, and Ixa were 4 out of the 9 that were actually featured within Decade. So now we're actually going to do new materialism with Final Form ride cards that actually work. So
Kamen Rider. Kuga Ultimate Form.
yeah, it's actually neat that these sounds are actually in here. What is this? Get away from me, fruit.
Kamen Rider. Agito Shining Form.
Okay, what is this now? It must be from the boxes, but
Kamen Rider. Duki Survive. Survive.
I forgot the Ryuki portion was re-recorded.
Kamen Rider.
Okay, why is the...
Fries. Blaster Form. Awakening.
I understand as to why they decided to re-record the Final Form or the Final Form announcements, because obviously originally within the CSM version they were taken out of the K-Touch, which is why they didn't sound correct.
Kamen Rider. Blade King Form. Evolution King.
And I was going to say I can show that right now, but then I forgot I only have the K-Touch 221.
Amado Hibiki.
So I can't show the initial announcements because I only got the upgraded version. Too quick.
Kamen Rider. Kabuto Hyper Form. Hyper Kamen Rider. Den-O Liner Form.
want to take a look at Dien's because I'm like, no, that's not it. Because I'm like, did they literally, are these literally the same pictures? They just photoshopped the helmet? It seems like it because they're in the same position. Because I was just looking at decades. And I was gonna say, I actually do like how with their complete form, or their final, yeah, their complete form cards are just like the original. And I'm like, but you can tell this isn't the same. But Dien's is.
Kamen Rider. Decay complete form.
Remember, that was the only initial way of getting the sound? Like, why is Dien just the generic, like, his generic transformation, but, like, Decade actually gets his? I understand they're both the same sound, but, like, you can't incorporate both sounds.
Kamen Rider. Double Cyclone Joker Extreme. Kamen Rider. Oh, Ptotira combo.
What the heck? What the heck? They actually changed his? I never realized that. They actually changed Oz's rider symbol to be Prutotira. Wow. I never realized that. Because on the ride watch, because on the ride watches, obviously they just kept Oz's rider symbol as Tatsuba, but here they actually changed it. Wow.
Kamen Rider. Fuze Cosmic States.
These next 4, 5, 6, yeah. These next 6 we're gonna know about because of the YellDriver.
Kamen Rider. Wizardo Infinity Style. Kamen Rider. Gaimu. Kiwami Arms. Kiwami Arms. Die, 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 die.
I think the compression is kind of off, but
Kamen Rider.
it's not even a thing.
Drive. Type Tridron. Kamen Rider. Ghosto. Mugen Damashi. Keep going. Go, 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 go.
So this one doesn't. I don't remember the DienDriver did either, but this one doesn't have the sounds from Maximum IDX, the backup vocals. And this one I still need to obtain. So this will be my first time hearing this jingle. I don't remember when this came out that people already found out about the Final Form cards. I think because of the previous, obviously the other 10 that were released at the time, that's probably how people, then like obviously people were just messing with their own cards with previous release cards and then probably found the other 9 too. So it is unfortunate Grand Geo couldn't be incorporated. Because I think by the time this was released, I think they, like, I honestly think, like, that we could have still gotten the Grand, this is not Grand Geo, like, we could have still gotten the Grand Geo card with this set, but, you know, still have it be the way it is, but, you know, we had to wait 2 years for this to finally get released, and, like, these two are honestly just, hey, yeah, sure, take them. Because, like, that's the thing. It's like, if they're gonna change Prutzotira up to be specific to Prutzotira, then why isn't 0202 then? Like, why is 02 still just 01? But, yeah. I completed the entire Neo line of stuff. It was costly, yeah, but I'm glad to actually have picked the, I'll say, reasonable price for the Neo DienDriver. I think, because I'll still say that obviously because of the release, obviously because of the release of the K-Touch 21, it might have sparked re-interest on obtaining the, excuse me, on obtaining the DienDriver. Obviously, for most people, prices for this spiked up again, but then once the set got released, prices again spiked up. But I think you should see, this is the sad thing. Basically, at this point, yeah, I would just recommend for you to pick up the set, because it is just going to be easier on you. Just because I don't think getting a Neo DienDriver for 20 is worth it. It's really not. Don't do it. But you know, again, I'm kind of fearing that we will get CSM releases of these, but honestly, I think for how it is, I think we're fine as of now. You can stack these. That's funny. I really do hope if they do for some reason decide to give Dien a new complete form, that's actually based off of the secondary riders, but then again, it's like honestly, I think if for Dien's complete form, it should just be the secondary riders of phase 1. Honestly, because I don't know, I just found it weird that his complete form it's just movie writers. I understand because it was a movie, but like, come on. And the fact that Gal was supposed to be a part of the lineup, but then because they didn't have a suit, they just had to go without him. And so that's why there's an empty space within his, because what is this? G4 Ryuga Orga Glaive Kabuki Caucasus Arc and Skull. So yeah, was that 9? I don't know, but I do like this thing. It's obviously a lot smaller than I was anticipating it, but you know, it fits just fine. And I'll just say, if you don't want to, like, you know, obviously pay for the price of the Neo version, or you just prefer the original color scheme a lot more, because yeah, if I have to say so, I understand that. Because I think the disappointing thing is that, like, yeah, it's actually cool that he actually does have the DN here now. Some parts that weren't painted previously are now painted. It's kind of disappointing the handle here isn't painted, but honestly, I think that's kind of a good thing, so then you don't have to risk paint chipping. But obviously, if you do want just a Neo DienDriver of any kind, I like this back detail. And then just pick up the 20th version, which is one of the most superior Legend, like version 20 releases within the line, because it's essentially, the version 20 version is essentially this thing repainted back in its original colors, and then you actually get retailer releases for DN for all 10 phase 1 secondary riders. Then you obviously get this thing. Shoot. You get that, and then I think you only get 3. I think you do get the attacks too. I don't remember. I know you get a final form ride. So you in total get 10, 16 cards. I think that should be right, or be correct. And the best part too is that, again, you get, like, you literally get retail releases of these cards specifically, not like, man, look at, if it actually wants to show, but just look at all those scratches. But it's not like the 20th version of the DienDriver, which is just a re-release of the super best version, where you still, like, they just took the original, like, Gamba Ride card, just put it under plastic. This yeah, the DienDriver scratches this a lot more. You can't probably tell, but in person, yeah, there's a lot of scratches. Because for some reason the super best version, or the version 20, they didn't bother. I think because they wanted to make these a selling point for the Neo. Basically, if you never got the CSM, then you can get the show accurate cards for the Neo DienDriver. But then for the 20th, they didn't bother changing it. Again, like, it's kind of bothersome. So if you do pick up a 20th version of the DienDriver and then a 20th version of the DienDriver, your cards are going to be inconsistent. So that's what I'm kind of bothered with, which is why I'm just like, if you're just pick it up if you don't feel like picking up a CSM DienDriver, because it's, again, they're exactly the same essentially. The thing with the 20th version of the DienDriver is that they got rid of some sounds. Obviously, they removed the the phase 2 secondary riders because, you know, they're not needed. And I think they essentially just removed phase 2 stuff, because honestly, with that, like, obviously the Neo, like, the version 20 of the DienDriver is essentially just an entirely new toy, essentially, because obviously the original DienDriver was notorious for not having a reader and only just, you know, you only had like, because the reason why it can hold up to 4 cards is because it came with 4 cards, and all you did is just kept stacking them. You get Common Ride, then you get Ride, then you get Ride, then you get Final Ride, and that was it. Like, the original toy didn't do much, but then with the CSM, they fixed it up a bunch and actually made it completely functional. So, yeah. I hope that was good enough. This video now is literally almost running an hour. I really do like this. It's really satisfying. I did not bring any photo cards because I don't think I want to. I don't feel like sacrificing any photo card to get slid into here, especially if it does this much damage to the card. But yeah, so now I'm gonna have 3 stacks worth of cards. I really do want to pick up the sorry, I would actually really like to pick up the, like, something like the CSM binder, but I think that was a card set. I just want to put I definitely want to put these within a card binder because just for easy access. Probably not a Gomberizing binder because this is 93 cards. I don't think the data cards, excuse me, or Gomberizing binders can hold that much, because my Fusion Fight one can really, I think that, going off of that one, it can really only hold up to like 70 cards ish. So I think for these, I literally just might have to go with the, like, traditional card binders you would find at like a Target or so, or whatnot. But yeah, we just reached an hour. Here's a Megalodon, and then I can't. This is gonna be short. And here's the revised driver. I'm not going to open it yet because I have to wait out on Kamakiri, or Kong and Kamakiri, just because I think, you know, just make more sense just to have those there, especially if it's arriving on Monday. So people. Bye.